Okay, this one won't be as good.
Okay.
Applaud. So, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to talk about marriage and how beautiful it is, and our engagement experience, our wedding experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anything and everything in between, I guess.
Yep. Everything that led up to our wedding
Yeah.
and our wedding itself.
Yeah. And how we prepared, all that stuff.
Yep.
All right. So, you can go first today for your pickup line.
All right. Because before you get married, you first have to lay down some game. We're not going to do the whole Riz conversation. Actually, let's just go there again. So,
Yeah.
don't understand the whole Riz concept that kids use nowadays.
No.
God, that made me sound old. I know it's short for charisma.
Yeah, but it sounds like candy.
Yeah.
Like
Rizzlers, which is a combination of Razzles and Twizzlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get it when someone told me.
And the
Riz.
stupid, whatever jaw thing that they do.
The
that
Mew
is
thing?
Yeah.
I still don't get it.
We're
I don't
just
get it.
officially...
We've been
cool.
old. We've never been with
Yeah.
any of that stuff.
Yeah, even when we were in high school, we weren't in tune, or in college in tune
Even
to
when
the social
Fire
media
came out, I was
trends and
like,
stuff.
what the heck is Fire? Are you hot?
You are hot. All right. So, are you made of chocolate?
No.
Really? Because you're sweet and I want to bite.
No. Yeah. If you ever used that pickup line on me in the dating phase, I probably would have slapped you.
Yeah.
Or just walked away.
Yeah, that's a little too cringy.
We should totally rate these.
Okay.
Because we're just...
was a what?
That was a 2. A 2. Yeah.
Fine. I'll take it.
Like if it would work for me kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it wouldn't work for you.
Okay.
It's not for you, it's for them.
I'm making these for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But by the way, we look up all these pickup lines on...
Not all. Some will be original.
Okay. We're going to try.
Between pickup lines or dad jokes, it's just what the mood is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But these ones today are from... We just Googled them.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone who says Disney is the happiest place on earth has never stood next to you.
I almost made a very inappropriate joke.
Refrain.
Yep. I'm holding it in. I feel like that's part of, the dad life, is those borderline inappropriate jokes. You're like,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
But we can definitely do a little
Yeah,
something
one
on
whole
that.
bit will be specifically for adults.
Okay, I come up to you and I say this pickup line.
Okay.
Is that a yes or no?
Oh, I'm like, no.
Absolutely not.
Because I'm not the happiest place or person on earth. Standing next to me is not the equivalent of Disneyland.
No, you're very stoic. No, don't do the Mew, whatever.
Oh, I wasn't doing the mute thing. I was more of like a combing the beard.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about our engagement.
Okay.
Okay, so I originally thought that you got rejected by my parents 3 times, which in a way, yes
I kind
and
of
no.
did. Yep.
The engagement process was, which I totally get. Mom and Dad, I love you so, so much. We completely understand.
Yeah, it was all coming from a place of love and care, and how hard it is to watch the daughter you raised be transitioned to have somebody else have to take care of them.
Yeah. So explain to me the timeline and the process, I guess, of all 3.
Okay, so first rejection. You were only 19. I had just graduated college. I was 22. And they knew that I already got the engagement ring, which is mistake number one. I should have talked to them first before getting the ring. And even just because I had the ring didn't mean that I was going to be proposing. That was my way of internally committing to you.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of already putting them on a level of defense of like, wow, he got a ring without consulting us.
Yeah.
So at 19, when you were 19 and I was 22, they were just like, no, you guys are way too young. You got to have X, or we want her to have X, Y, and Z done before
which
getting married.
Totally understood.
Which I wasn't asking to get married. I was asking to propose.
Yeah.
Which, I still see how that would be too young from a worldly perspective of like, you don't know what you want fully at that age. Most people definitely do not.
Well, they say your frontal cortex isn't even fully developed till 25.
Yep.
So,
which I wasn't planning on getting married until 25 or 26.
We got married a little bit before.
You were before. I was 26. Yeah. Anyways, so that was the first rejection. The second rejection was not necessarily me asking again, but I was working at 24 Hour Fitness, and I was an assistant fitness manager, and I had grand opened a club in Escondido, and it had done well. So they were asking people who had already had experience grand opening a club to help grand open a club in Hawaii. And my district manager at the time was a huge Hawaii guy, and he liked the effort that I was putting in. So he's like, hey, I can get you a spot in Hawaii if you want to make a lateral move and grand open the club out there. So naturally, we just had conversations about like, what do you think about moving to Hawaii? We knew that we did not want to live together before being married.
Yeah.
So it was just like I wasn't trying to ask for your parents' permission again, but they were like, I guess, I don't remember if they overheard the conversation or just knew that we were having it. And they were like, no, you guys cannot get married because she has to have her degree first and start a career. And we understand that those are definitely boxes, markers of showing maturity. But the third time was I set up a meeting with your dad at a restaurant, just like a burger and beer place. And kind of got stood up a bit. I was sitting there for an hour. It wasn't like a power move type play, because once he sat down, he was like, look, I know what you're going to ask, and forgive me for being late. It's just hard for me to wrap my head around giving my daughter away. And now having a daughter of my own, I could understand just how tough it would be.
Yeah.
Like they trusted me. They knew me. It was just a matter of their own experiences in life that had, scarred them a little bit from the permanency of marriage.
Yeah, which I totally get, because they did their entire life. Because my dad almost got engaged before he met my mom too, and my mom had me before she got back with my dad. So totally get it. And yeah, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, and so he said that although he does not wish for us to get married at this time, he does approve of me as your future husband, or did approve, whatever, at that time.
Which says a lot.
So, I was like, I'll take it. I'll take
We're
what I can
taking
get.
it and running.
And so he's like, hey, just promise me that she'll finish her degree first. And so everything was on track for her to graduate in 2019, or like finish her schooling in the summer of 2019. And ironically enough, I proposed in 2017 with his official approval.
Yes.
And we knew that we were not going to set the wedding date until after her degree.
We knew that, but I think it still scared them.
Yeah, it scared them.
And because we technically got engaged in secret a little bit.
No, they 100% knew.
We didn't tell anyone to show up to the engagement except one friend to take a picture.
Yes, because I wanted it to be about you and I. And so I guess we should talk about the proposal.
Yeah, we should definitely talk about the proposal. I was sick that day.
I forgot. That's actually a pretty funny story.
Yeah.
But you were just coming over being sick.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yep,
the letter, I was so mad that day. So mad.
had a motorcycle at the time, ZX6R for those that, Kawasaki 636, and
a crotch rocket for those that don't know what that
rocket.
is. I'm not a fan.
I was not the most wise individual, being only 22 at the time, going on 23.
Yeah, tell them about that.
So my friend and I, we both worked at 24 Hour Fitness. We took the freeway home. And for those that are in the local area, getting from the 15 onto the 78 at Nordal, all the way until I exited, not the coast, okay, just
going
2 miles
in that direction
off exiting Vista Village. A cop pulled both of us over, and I got a...
Yeah, tell them how fast you were going. I almost wanted to throw your keys in the ocean.
Okay. Yes, it was irresponsible of me. I do not recommend that kids do that. It was stupid. So, to my defense, that's like an eighth of an inch a twist on that bike was going. Not that it wasn't a liter bike. It was just still only 636 cc.
That's what crotch rocket motorcycles do.
Yeah, but it was... So my friend had a Gixxer 700.
Don't know what that is.
Motorcycle talk. Anyways, we were just having fun. We weren't racing. We were just having fun, like going back and forth. It was 9:30 at night. Nobody was on the freeway with us. And before I looked down, I realized that it was at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So, stupid mistake.
You want to tell them how much that ticket was?
Yeah, I can see why your parents were like, no.
Yeah, dumb.
Yeah. Anyways, it was an $1,800 ticket. So that's the backstory. And I'm at work one day, and I text Riley, hey, I left my ticket information underneath my helmet. I got to take care of it today. Can you please go to my apartment and
send me a picture
or bring it to me or whatever. And lo and behold, it was a note. I'd taken work off that day. It was a Friday. I had taken work off that day.
Yeah.
It was...
I think it was a Friday.
Yeah, because we got engaged on the 3rd.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
It was a Friday, so I took work off, which would have only been a half day anyways. But I took off work, had her get the note underneath my motorcycle helmet, which was a proposal note saying, hey, which she knew that I had the ring already. And it was an empty box. And so with the note underneath my motorcycle helmet, it said, though this box is empty, meet me at the pier to, see the real one. So I knew that when I proposed, I wanted her to know that she's being proposed to and not catch her off guard. Yeah. So I was sitting there at the rocks on the pier. Thank God it wasn't high tide. Just sitting there waiting for, 30 minutes while our friend drove her there and was taking pictures. She's like, okay, we're here. Got a text. I had the flowers ready. I was at the ocean front getting down on one knee and proposing. Obviously, she said yes. And it was like Hallmark cheesiness of people that were at the top of the pier clapping for us.
Yeah.
People were clapping because, they saw they got to witness the engagement.
Yeah. So it was really sweet. And I was so sick that day.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was going into work with our good friend and not even a little like, hey, wear something cute. We're going to go take pictures or. No, she didn't say any of that. She just, I walked out of the house with a messy bun, hair not washed. My face wasn't even done.
Out of your house, but you didn't show up like that.
No, I didn't. Because we went to her house after and she's like, she was trying not to make it so obvious. She's like, oh, you know what? Like, here, let me curl your hair real quick. And it just, I didn't feel great. And I just felt like I didn't even like look great either. It felt so like sluggish. And then I got that note and I was like, dang it. But it was all in all, it was really sweet. I was genuinely surprised. And the motorcycle thing was a really good
way of tricking you. Yeah. She's like, dang it, now I gotta go give him his freaking ticket.
Yeah,
I hope he gets rid of that bike.
I was sick. I was mad.
Yeah. And then a complete 180.
Yeah.
Surprise, you're being proposed to.
Yeah. And I was like, I wore my ring into the house and I was like, how do I tell my parents? Like, I felt like I was going to go under the fire and I was like, I need to hide my hand all day long.
No, they knew at that point that it was coming.
They knew it was coming. They just didn't know when.
Yeah.
And if you know my parents, they are detail oriented and they like to know who, what, where, when, why. So the fact that we didn't tell them, and when I did tell them, they were really shocked. And they're like,
oh.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't a thing of happiness. It was like oh my gosh, what's happening?
Oh, it happened. Okay.
Yeah. And in a way, it was, I think they felt a little bit of animosity because they maybe thought we were going against what they wanted originally. Because obviously I had to graduate college and all those things, which we did wait pretty much.
Yeah. So the plan was for us to get married in 2019 after she had graduated.
Yes.
The hiccup was there was one particular class that was not available in that spring semester and wasn't available till fall semester. So she had everything minus one like
it was like
cake
three credits.
Yeah.
Like a really basic class.
So oops.
Yeah. But it all worked out. Because, the pandemic hit. If we did wait until I graduated, we wouldn't have been able to get married.
Yep. So and God's timing is always the best.
Absolutely. Because we definitely decided to just follow like our spirit and follow Father in that.
And we knew that with the great people in our lives and how big her family is, how many people I have in my life from like this, both of us are plugged into the sports realm. We knew we were going to have a lot of people at our wedding. It would have, had we had it local, it would have been 200 plus, probably 250 plus people.
Easily like a $50,000 wedding.
Yeah. And we were going to be paying out of pocket and we did not want to go to that level of debt over a wedding.
No way.
We're not knocking the people that have the grand weddings. Like you do what you feel is best for you and your partner.
Everyone has a dream that day. And our dream is different.
Goal was to have an experience that is more than just the 5-hour, wedding experience.
Yeah.
And so we decided to do a destination wedding in Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Mexico, at an eco-friendly resort. And so our family and friends got to stay. It was a minimum of 3 nights, and some chose to stay 4 or 5 or even longer. But because of the people that went, how many nights they ended up staying, that actually gave us $3,500 off of our wedding package.
Yeah.
And so all in all, flights, honeymoon, dresses, rings included.
Tuxedos, yeah.
Our wedding only cost us $8,300.
Yeah.
So,
and we paid that off so quickly. It was fantastic. So I could not imagine paying for a $50,000 wedding for a day. Mm-mm. And then the stress on top of that. I knew going in, I didn't want a wedding coordinator. We didn't want because I felt like when you get invited to a wedding as a guest, you're a guest. Like I just had a real big thing about asking people for money to be a part of our day.
You did not want to be asking. Yeah.
Because
it was tough to be like, hey, you do have to book your flight and get a hotel, but it was budget friendly. It was $500 for them to have the flight and 3 nights worth of a stay at a all-inclusive resort in Mexico. So it's like you get a vacation out of it.
You get to pay for yourself.
It was a year and a half of prep time for them to save up financially before they had to officially pay. So we felt like that was, not too big of an ask.
Yeah. I guess I wanted the money to go towards them and not necessarily
towards their experience, not just towards a day for us.
Yeah. Because I don't know, it felt almost... not to say that's how I felt selfish in that situation. And I was like, if we all went on a big family vacation, like that sounds more enticing to actually fork up money for. So that ultimately that's what we wanted for our guests is just experiences. And we're even like that with holidays. We think you gain more through experiences than you do just through monetary, like quick little things that you enjoy. Yeah.
So do you want to talk a little bit about your personal prep for becoming a bride?
Yep.
And then we'll talk more about like the wedding day itself and just how great that experience was.
Yeah. I think it's so funny because I think we're a dime a dozen. And I don't know if that's...
You're a dime, I'll tell you that.
There's another joke. Oh, good one. And I don't know if it's because we're both the oldest and both of our parents had us out of wedlock, and had us at such a young age. I think both of our parents were 17, 18.
Mm-hmm.
That we just have a lot of life experiences that most people don't. And then plus we have like little sisters on top of that I know I had to help raise my little sisters. You were kind of like the guardian, had to watch over them a little bit, being the big brother. So we talked a lot about prepping for like marriage throughout dating. And when we grew up, we were taught that when you date for the sole purpose of getting married. You don't just date casually. And so I didn't know what that looked like. And
yeah, I could not date in today's culture.
No way, man. No way. I think I would be a nun. Yeah. Or people would think I'm extremely weird, or I might just be like that super clingy girl that's like, all you want. I'm just lucky we found each other, honestly. Like it really was God's blessing. But growing up, I was always, it was never like, oh, what boys do I like? Da-da-da. It was always like, what is my husband going to be like? Even when I was 12. So I always thought about a husband, not a boyfriend, if that makes sense. So prepping for that, we both knew that we needed to have a strong foundation individually with God first, and even just like us as people before we went into a marriage. Because, and I like the way my mom always brought this up. She said, if we were both our own individual powerhouses and we came together, we would be unstoppable and nothing would get in the way. And I was like, oh, that's exactly like what we were learning at church at the time, of like the tree of
knowledge and the tree of life.
Yeah. And also like how you decide to fill up your cup. If I'm down for the count and maybe like Martin wasn't who he was, then what would our marriage actually look like? Would it be like turmoil, or would we be okay? So a verse that always stuck out to me was always 1 Peter 3:3-6, and it was, don't be concerned about the outwardly beauties of fancy hairstyles, expensive jewelry, beautiful clothes, all those things that like come with dating, and just not really, I feel like they're very surface level. You should clothe yourselves instead with the beauty that comes from within, an unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is so precious to God. And this is how the holy women of old made themselves beautiful. They put their trust in God and accepted the authority of their husband. For instance, Sarah obeyed her husband Abraham and called her master. And he called her master. You are her daughter when you do what is right without fear of what your husbands might do.
Mouthful, but it is beautiful.
It is beautiful. I wanted to come in adding to our relationship, never taking away from you. And I don't know, just not being like, I don't like to be a submissive person at all, but there is like a beautiful balance of like supporting my husband, but also making sure I can challenge him and empower him to also constantly think of being a better human being. And which is not hard with you, but
I mean, we have shared experiences of like the Mountain Martin phase and how rough, but like, thank God you had the, foundation that you did have, and that, because if you were just idolizing me, and people are going to fall short of whatever expectations you have on them. So let your expectations rest in something eternal. And so, mine was a very similar mental approach of following the example that Christ set. And it says that the church is Christ's bride, and he laid down his life for the church. I knew that I wanted to immediately put myself second, God first, and God and wife first, and just come from a servant mentality. And I think the whole, toxic masculinity culture, which that has its own like different twist in what it actually is. But to not have the whole like, my wife is supposed to obey me and serve me, like, sure, the Bible might say wives serve or submit to your husbands, but it tells the husband to die for the sake of the wife. And so you must you can't just omit that part and be like, you gotta serve me. It's like, no, I laid my life down for you. And so I knew that I wanted to be a man that, would that was living that out, not just saying the words, not being the charismatic, the riz filled guy that just knew the right things to say, but that my actions were actually,
Yeah, when it comes to the hard stuff, like, is the man really being the man kind of thing? Mm-hmm. Or, yeah, and honestly, woman is a woman being the woman. Mm-hmm. There's no, I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but there's no, like, I feel like it's a very, there's like, no balanced. Yeah. We're constantly trying to find ways to balance each other out all the time. And it's really, like, cohesive, and it's, we have a great marriage.
Yep.
Good job.
Thanks.
So far.
But as far as the wedding day itself, one of our friends and leader of the church pastored it for us or ministered it for us, whatever. And you did not want to share your vows at first because you're not a public speaker, and neither am I.
I don't like to share my feelings. We're doing
something like this when neither of us like talking. But anyways,
like we said, this is new for us.
Yeah, this is mainly for us to have fun as a couple.
Yeah,
and give a glimpse into what we think a healthy marriage is for the young adults and kids out there.
Not that our opinion matters.
Yeah,
I'm sure to some people, but who knows? This could like really help.
Yeah, but she did not want to read vows, but we ended up reading vows and writing a letter to one another as well as our vows. And it was just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And we got married beachfront, barefoot. It
Fantastic.
Was amazing. We had relatively big bridal party sizes.
How many? What, seven on each side?
Yeah, 7, maybe 8. I know that one of my cousins wasn't there because he works in hotel management, and they were like, there's no way you could take Memorial Day weekend off. Yeah. And then my friend Stefan also wasn't there because he was in the middle of a very busy recruiting season for...
Was he wasn't in the NFL at the time, was he?
No, not at that time.
He was trying to make it.
He had just got his coaching position at SMU.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they're like, recruiting is too busy on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
We can't approve that time off.
Yeah,
so.
We totally get it.
Which we knew that was part of the part of having a destination wedding. Not everybody that you necessarily invite is going to be able to make it, but it did help us cut our number down from like 250 plus to I think we had 50.
They said it was still a really big destination party. So the biggest that they've seen.
Yeah. So we knew that we had a strong community around us, and it was a blend of our family and church community. And so it was great for our family to engage and have that 3 days of time to see the human side of, the people in our church community, to realize like, hey, they're just normal people, just like we are. Yeah.
Because when we first started going to church together to a new church at that, first thing my mom was like, are you in a cult? Which I can so understand how it can look cultish, but we genuinely just liked hanging out with those people. And again, we're big about like value and how are things adding to our life and how is it taking away. But we really just enjoyed those people, like everyone's company. And they never like forced to change who we were spiritually. We talked about real stuff.
Yeah, just because it was a different version of like, hey, you're not going and sitting in a place on a Sunday and hearing a message, which, there's nothing wrong with the common church format. It was more about there's more fruit that happens in your life the other 6 days of the week, and spending time together as a community within that, and being authentic, transparent, and vulnerable beyond just the 2 hours of like the typical church service.
Yeah. And I think everyone was really invested in like, hey, like, tell me about what else is going on in your life. Like, tell me the good and the bad. Yeah. And let's pray about it, and let's figure out what God's next step is for you. Like, and no one was ever like, hey, I have the answer. Yeah. So let me tell you what to do. Brother? Yeah. It was more of like, let me walk this journey with you. And exactly. If you want me to help you figure it out, I will. If you want to walk this journey on your own, then let me pray for you.
Yeah. And one of the best things apart from like our marriage that has come from it is that there's actually been a second marriage that has come from our wedding. Yes. So one of my groomsmen and best friends, Avery, met one of the ladies from our church there named Mariella, and they got married 2 years after us, but they met at our wedding and started a relationship shortly after.
Yeah, and that was a big blessing because I know, not to air out their stuff, but they were both, I think, seeking without seeking it, if that makes sense.
They, how the typical relationship history goes. They each had their ups and downs with previous relationships, and to, find somebody that has the same moral values as them, which just shows that when you have God as the foundation, which Ecclesiastes 4, double check, 4:12, the one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves, a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken, which that's a very cliche wedding verse that a lot of people use, but it's true, is that third cord being God is what keeps the relationship strong.
Yeah.
Because if again, like I said earlier, if you have all of your hope invested in the strength of that person, they're going to let you down at some point throughout the marriage or relationship. So for them to have, to openly say that is what they were looking for, God blessed them with that at our wedding, and it was great.
Yeah, because let's all be honest here. We all have trauma. We all have issues.
Everybody's got their own baggage.
Everyone's got their own baggage.
Into a relationship.
Big time. So.
And some of the other highlights from our wedding was, like we said, we wanted the experience itself to be the center, not just like the wedding day.
Yeah.
And we stayed in, again, Playa del Carmen, Cancun, Mexico, and it was an eco-friendly resort. So there were animals all around, peacocks that would jump from balcony to balcony.
Yeah, monkeys holding your hand.
We were told to lock your doors because the windows, the sliding glass doors on the outside, because monkeys will come and
steal your stuff.
But yeah, so we got to see monkeys, hold their hands on the way to dinner, and also explore the nature side of Mexico, which 2 months before we got there, our resort was expanding into the jungle a little bit further to expand their property, and they actually uncovered some ancient ruins. That's what I was trying to think of.
Ancient ruins.
Yeah, some ancient ruins. And so, and so it's just cool to see historical, like, evidence, I guess, like just civilizations that literally had to build that by hand. And I don't know whether it was like a temple or what it was, but it was definitely some type of
it was really
small
interesting
pyramid ruin
to see.
And there
how
was like
small,
8 of them all within this, which probably, if we're thinking culturally, might have been like altars or whatever. But
but it was interesting to see how tiny everything actually was back then. So like people just, I think it'd be the coolest thing to, like, when you pass away and you go and you ask God one day, you're like, hey, can you give me like the rundown of every historical event, pastime, human development? Like, I think that stuff would be so cool. But the other cool thing was we got to swim in the cenote.
Oh yeah.
And what freshwater cave, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's essentially a freshwater cave.
Freezing water. And it was hot in Mexico, and that water was freezing.
Felt bad because you get, snorkeling gear and you get to go. And there was a guy, I'm not sure if you remember, a guy who had just lost his wedding ring and was either his ring or he lost his fiance or wife's ring, and he was trying to search for it.
Yeah,
and
that thing's gone.
I don't think that he found it.
No, because that thing was so deep.
Yeah.
Like we were in, it's a cave, but there's so many cool, there were so many cool like live action and like fishes in there, and it was kind of creepy because they'll brush up against you too, and I was like, yeah, I don't like that. Okay, on to what we were speaking about. We're transitioning to questions.
Yep. So we need to come up with a like catchy bit for whatever this is.
Yeah.
Like we have got some questions. Dun, 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 dun.
We're not doing
no
Blue's
more Blue's
Clues.
Clues. We did Blue's Clues last time. What about this?
We are so stuck in toddler.
Yeah.
Being that we have one. So everything is, I know, even when people ask, like, do you watch any shows?
Bluey.
Like, Bluey and Disney princesses on repeat all day long.
Yep. So what Bluey episode is your favorite?
Honestly, all of them. I love Bluey. I really do. I think it's a very genuine, wholesome show.
You don't have a favorite, though? Or one that you remember?
No.
They're like, wow, I wish I had that imagination as a kid.
No, I just really enjoy their house and how creative they are with their games. So, like, we learn a lot about, like, Keepy Uppy.
Yep.
So, Keepy Uppy is a balloon game, if you don't know what that is.
Which everybody's played it. You just try to keep a balloon afloat.
Yeah. But something about tying a name to it, I think, helps a lot with, like, Gigi's interaction and learning. So, yeah, I learn a lot about different types of games and how to be a creative parent and how to stay patient. So I'm learning from Bluey and our kid is learning from Bluey. It's a win-win.
Yeah, and it's also she loves the music. So Dance Mode has become her favorite episode to watch. And I just hope that she doesn't try to put us in dance mode.
We have to record Dance Mode.
Yeah.
Either in the car for this or at home, what we do.
All right. So, questions from the kids.
Yes.
You pick your question first. We'll do some rapid fire and then some expanding on some questions.
Yes. Let's see. Oh, when did you start volleyball?
That's for you, obviously.
Yeah. Started volleyball back in the 5th grade at the YMCA.
I thought you were going to say back in the 50s.
Back in the 50s. No. Could not serve overhand. I honestly hated the sport. And I wanted to quit. And my mom didn't let me. And I'm glad she didn't because it was an evolving game.
Yeah, that's one thing that, not to criticize parents openly, but if your kid signs up for a sport, let them finish the season. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, there was an experience where we brought one of our younger sisters to a tournament in Vegas and she loved soccer, or said that she loved to play soccer, and then just didn't want to play by the time we got to the Vegas tournament. And it was irritating, the fact that, yeah. So let your kid finish what they commit to, because that's a good lesson to learn. And it's, I guess, from my perspective, football, I began, first grade, pee-wee football.
Yeah.
And I don't think, people always ask, are you going to have Gigi play volleyball? Are you going to have Kayala play football? I'm like, look, whatever sport that
want.
Yeah, we wanted them to be well diverse. Definitely some type of dancing.
Definitely.
I can imagine her being into that.
I'm for sure putting them in some kind of academic decathlon. I want them to be brains and athleticism. Yeah.
And so here's a question the girls have asked for a while. I honestly forgot the scenario, but it's one that they bring up pretty much every workout. And it's, do you feel bad for calling Addie a whale?
Oh my God.
So, yeah, cancel me because I called a kid a whale. But no, the context is we were having some conversation, I feel, about Nemo and Dory. Oh, it was being forgetful like Dory.
Yes.
And how Dory tries to speak whale. And she's like, can you speak whale? I was like, well, I'm looking at one. And if you know Addie, she's confident. So I knew that it was a joke that wouldn't wreck her self-confidence. And she's, tall, lean.
Yeah.
So that is the why did you call Addie a whale story.
Yeah. We love you, Addie.
Yes.
If you end up watching this.
And those kids are so fun to work with.
Yeah.
Like the age group when they're asking like, what, I guess I'll answer the question. Who's your favorite team? They all have great personalities, and I care about those that listen. Not that like I'm not gonna, put effort towards the kids that aren't putting the most attention towards the workouts, but as long as you're not being disrespectful, I enjoy working with all of you kids. So
yeah. Ditto.
Yep.
Okay. My question is, what inspires you?
That's it?
That's it.
Well, go ahead. It's your question.
What inspires you? Lord, what inspires me? I guess it could mean anything, honestly.
What's your inspiration for doing what you do?
I'm a nurturer, and I like helping people. That's pretty much it. I said in episode 1, I'm pretty boring.
Yeah.
For the most part. But I mean, if you want to tie it into like a spiritual faith aspect, obviously, like those aspects inspire me on a daily to just be a better person, teach people how to grow, help people realize that like we're all just humans trying to exist and learn and grow. Then I guess that's what the Lord inspires me 24/7.
Yeah. So
cheesy
Bible school answer is Jesus is my inspiration.
Jesus is my inspiration.
But as far as like what inspires me with the way that I work with the kids, it's how much of an impact I know coaches have on the youth nowadays.
Yeah.
And the parents, especially like from the kids that we experience, I don't think there's any major parenting flaws or like trauma that they go like if they have the luxury of playing volleyball, they come from most of the time pretty healthy households. So it's just great.
Some that don't.
Yeah, there's some that don't, but even the healthy households, teenagers don't want to listen to their parents. So hearing things that we say that are things that their parents are already telling them, it just comes from a different perspective of like, eat clean, do your homework, stop being on your phone all day, watch your posture.
Early. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's, what inspires me is being that positive light that kids, whether they look up to me or not, I feel that hopefully I'm being some type of mentor to them and shaping the youth.
Yeah. So we'd like to say that we're doing that.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
All right. Last question?
2. I have 1.
Okay. From the kids or from us?
From the kids.
Okay. What's your favorite fast food?
In-N-Out.
Yep. We're living in California, so nothing like a double. Okay, what's your In-N-Out order? Let's go there.
Okay, In-N-Out order.
Yes, I get it. We're claiming to be health people, but we're also humans, so we enjoy our food.
treats.
Yeah.
So what is your In-N-Out order?
Yep.
A number 1, double animal style. Most of the time protein style. It just depends on how hungry I am, because obviously too much gluten doesn't help me. Regular fries, and then I used to be a big like unsweetened tea person, but since I've been pregnant, I like really enjoy Dr. Pepper, which is not.
Yeah, Olivia is a huge Dr. Pepper fan, so she'll love the fact that you are ordering Dr. Pepper now.
You know what's funny is I feel like a lot of people are addicted to Dr. Pepper, and I totally get why now.
Yep, the 23 flavors.
Yep. Oh my gosh, it's good. Okay, what's yours?
So, number 1, which is double animal style, no tomatoes, but also adding regular onion, and then just fries and probably a root beer.
Okay.
Because I feel like the root beer has a different crisp.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was never a soda person until I married you.
Yeah. And not that we're the biggest soda people, but the carbonation, that's our fat people talking.
It's just, to me, it's funny. You get very like food critic on sodas.
Yeah.
And I think it's so funny that you pay attention to like the quality of the soda. And I was like, I used to just get water because my mom didn't want to pay for the drink bill.
Yeah. Which I'd say we're probably 50-50 between getting the drink or just getting the burger and fries.
Yeah. Most of the time we're getting the drink though because we're treating ourselves.
And because it's GD wanting a strawberry lemonade.
Yeah.
So we tried getting Gianna a grilled cheese.
No.
Didn't work. Yeah. Just get her a regular patty because she takes the bun off and then was picking at the cheese. And then it's like, here, Daddy, I'm done.
Yeah. She doesn't like bread, which I guess she is a protein carnivore kind of gal, which I'm happy about.
Yeah. Every time I cook steak, she's like, I have some steak.
Yeah, she's funny.
All right. Last question.
Okay. What is or was one of the most embarrassing moments of your life?
This is a great one. Mm-hmm. I think my embarrassing story is, I'm not going to say more like people would hate to be in this situation, but go ahead and share yours first.
No, you go first because I'm still kind of thinking about mine.
So we have these friends, Ricky and Stevie. They got married 3 or 4 months after us in July in Hawaii. And so because they kind of did a destination wedding, also they wanted to have something local for the people that couldn't make it to Hawaii. So we took a charter bus up to Orange County, which is like 30, 45 minutes away. And my dress up clothes are few and far between, and I hardly wear them. So I put on some pants that are probably a little snug. Yeah. Because I wasn't going to go get some. Anyways, pants were a little snug. We're doing the toast at the like once we arrive at the house that's hosting it, we go downstairs by the pool. They do a toast. I got to go to the bathroom, and we're sitting there waiting. I don't want to be impatient and leave in the middle of their toasts and everybody's saying the great things about Ricky and Stevie. So as soon as they're done, people are starting to funnel one way. I'm like, this is going to be impossible to get there. So I decide to step over a beach chair and I ripped my pants. And this is not like a little beep. It like ripped all the way down the seam.
Yeah.
So I walked to the bathroom and I texted Ricky. I was like, dude, I just ripped my pants. I don't know what to do. It's not like you're, I could just get in a car, go home. Like I'm stuck there with ripped pants. And thankfully the host happened to wear the same size as me. So he was laughing his butt off. Like, I cannot believe that this happened at my house. Like he was ripping me a hat. He was drilling into me just how funny it was. And thankfully, I've got thick skin. So it was just embracing the fact of like, yeah, this just happened. I ripped my pants at my friend's wedding. So
yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't say I was really embarrassed, but people would view that as an embarrassing story.
Yeah, it is a funny story.
I would have just, if he had not helped me, I would have just walked out with, no, I would have taken off my button-up shirt and put it around. And
you wouldn't have worn a shirt?
No, I had like a shirt underneath that. I just would take my button shirt and just like put it on like an apron or something.
No, because when you came home, that rip was, insane.
Yeah. We should have kept it as a souvenir of like, this is the story. Anyways.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead. Your most embarrassing moment.
I don't know if you would call it necessarily embarrassing for everyone, but I felt like it was embarrassing for me. Was when I was working one day at a bike shop and I was addressing people, asking them if they needed help finding stuff and whatnot. And there was this person standing in the aisle, had like khaki shorts on, some like, I don't know, what are those called? Those like shorter, thicker wool socks that kind of stick out of like hiking boots. And socks. Just, you gotta go with the imagination. And then like a Hawaiian-ish button down that was short sleeve because it was, I want to say it was maybe like fall. And then had a mullet. So I was like, excuse me, sir, can I help you find anything? Turns around, it's a woman. Mm. And I felt so embarrassed. And ever since then, I don't call people sir or ma'am when I address them. I just say, hi, can I help you?
That was back in 2017?
Yeah. No.
So 16?
13.
13? Oh, fresh out of high school.
13, 14, my first job.
Okay, yeah, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So this is before the sensitivity of where, like right now you probably would have been.
It was like respectful to.
Would have brought out the phone, been like,
I know.
Cancel this woman because she misgendered me.
Yeah, it was respectful to address people that way, especially when I worked at a bike shop because we dealt with a lot of older people that were well in their like 40s to 60s.
Yeah.
But for me, I was so embarrassed and I was like, I am so sorry. Can I get you a water?
Yeah. Not that we don't have empathy for people that identify certain ways. Like, look, we'll respect you and how you choose to be identified.
Yeah.
It's just the level of sensitivity of like, look, we're just humans. We're going to make mistakes. It's not like we're intentionally trying to be malicious of like, you're not a this because you're like, no, it happens.
It happens. So no ill will here.
Now, time for a random question. Do you have you don't have one?
I did, but my phone.
Yep, your phone.
My phone.
Okay. Well, it's not really a question, but more something that's just, it was random things that we did at the dinner table in college of try to laugh without smiling. So look at the camera and give your best non-smile. Probably like turn the mic here.
Do you want to talk about embarrassing?
Yeah, hey, it transitions with that question. So
Are we doing it at the same time? Laugh
no,
without.
you laugh without smiling first.
Why do I have to do it first?
I'm not gonna like trick you or anything. Do you want me to go first?
Laugh without smiling.
Yep, laugh without smiling.
I don't even know if I know how to do that.
Okay, so one of my teammates nailed it, and he would do it probably like TJ. If you
I remember TJ. Yeah. He was funny.
He was a character.
Yeah.
He would probably do it like twice a week of just a deep laugh without smiling. So,
or you go.
All right, I guess I'll go first.
I'm not doing it.
Okay.
That is terrible.
I know, but it's the face that you get from people of like, you just can't do it without actually laughing and smiling.
That is definitely something you do with a bunch of football boys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nope. I don't even know how to fake laugh.
Do it. All right, and then last like challenge bit or whatever is, which it came back last year.
Everything gets recycled.
Yeah.
Everything.
But let all of the air out of your breath, let all the breath out of your lungs, and then try to scream.
No.
Yep.
I have no space in here right
Just
now.
try it. Come on, it's funny. Get all of your breath out, and then scream. No, you got
I can't scream.
More of a pause for effect. Come on.
I pause that. You.
Like that. Give it a shot. Give it a shot.
I'm already winded just sitting here.
Do it.
I can't. Hold on.
All right. Well, there you go. That's the end.